The Virtues finish up their business with the Duragar, Makud having a lovely time with them, bonding, and Makud is immortalized on the banner that he donated to the dwarves. He gives Damaro one of the beads from the Spool of Istis before Abrashmina casts Word of Recall, and we all get sent back to Ashar. And everyone splits off to do their respective preparations before our journey into the desert. Declan goes and greets Holly quickly before disappearing into the basement to work on goggles for Bryn to see in the dark, but then he ended up doing a haste infusion instead. Bryn greets her friend and catches up a bit as Holly whips up a meal for the bard, and Makud goes out into the city looking for something to catch his interest, while Abrashmina spends a bit of time readying up to surprise Eli with her return. Unfortunately, when she arrives at the butcher's shop, there's no sign of him. She is greeted with most of the Six Eyes looking as though they were recently in a huge fight. She sends a message to Eli, and he whispers back that he can't talk because he's working. And she goes up and talks to Uvir and Sharat and finds out that the shop had recently been raided by some mercenaries and Brakados. Uvir suspects that it was an assassination attempt on Sharat that had been orchestrated by the elves, and Abrashmina offers their assistance in whatever way they can before they have to leave to Sharat, and he is grateful. Meanwhile, Ethan goes down to visit Declan. He talks about the challenges before the group and his desire to hopefully return Ethan back home to Dethoin someday. Soon. She tells him that she would like to return home, but she isn't certain that she would want to stay there after everything that she's been through. They share some tea, which by sharing, I mean she goes and fetches it for him, and Declan finishes up an infusion of haste. Madar comes down to spend some time with Bryn. The former apostle seems disappointed that Bryn will be leaving for the desert again and is concerned about their fight with the Spurn and offers to come with them to fight him. Bryn is surprised but happy about this development. And she notices a black figure at the bar and asks Madar about it, who tells her that there's usually one of them at the bar nursing a drink all day. They haven't bothered anyone and haven't caused any trouble, so Shmir and the others have been leaving them alone. And Madar says she had been keeping a watch on them. Makud continues his wanderings around the city, eventually finding his way to the Vakar, where he sees advertisements for a new champion of the Vakar. Questioning an old local, he learns that the orc champion is named Jawad, and Makud is rightfully upset by this and the fact that the old man didn't seem to recognize him. Then he also decides that he wants to go potion shopping because he felt really good after eating the ones the other day. And so he goes to find the potion seller Qual and tries to buy a few, but Qual is his usual charming self and anchors Makud to the point where he kicks the corner of Qual's stall and refuses it and causes it to come crashing down. Makud stomps off in anger and goes to find Shal Ab Ajana. The Vakar owner puts Makud at peace, explaining that Jawad was only championed because Makud is off doing other things and that he is welcome to come back anytime and be his champion because he will always be champion to Ab Ajana. But he has to make money while Makud is away. Makud agrees to this fight, but only once they're done with the Spurned. Eventually, Abrashmina goes back to the Mirage before Eli returns. She sees the man in the black cloak and sidles up to him and starts questioning him. And after a bit of back and forth, he finally says that he was meant to deliver a message to them. Riga would like to meet the four of them this evening. He departs, and just as Eli bursts into the Mirage to greet Abrashmina, who regrettably has to postpone the reunion to talk to the others about the message from Riga, she sends a message to Makud about the black cloaks, just as he is heading down the street and spots the guy leaving. He shouts after him, but the man scampers hurriedly away. Abrashmina catches the others up on what she learned during the short time they've been back. Declan's immediate reaction is to try and have their friends in the city guard be on hand as backup for this meeting. Abrashmina and Bryn think that it's a bad idea to involve the Lull if they want to get past this without making an enemy of Kabine and her organization. The group is concerned about repercussions of this on their loved ones if it doesn't go their way, and they have to figure out what to do before this evening, as they have a few short hours left to prepare.
So, You have a few short hours left to prepare. What would you like
So
to do?
like 3 or 4 kind of thing.
I will say 3.
Okay.
Well, it was like early evening before, and there were like early, like
Yeah.
late
So
afternoon before.
basically, yeah, you can. You have to show up during the night.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's like at mid-afternoon right now.
you said a few short hours. So
Well, that was me taking like some recap liberties
well,
in order to blah blah
I
blah blah
don't
blah. You
appreciate
said
liberties take. Yeah. No,
because
you've got
we were talking like 5 hours
you've
last
got
session.
the evening.
Okay,
Um,
like the business day has not yet quite concluded.
Yeah.
well, we did some talking out of character. So some of that, I guess, we can address now in character.
Yeah, let's do that. That's more interesting.
Okay. So Declan, we'll say, has acquiesced to the idea of not contacting the guards at this point. But he will suggest if we could secure our loved ones safely away, perhaps in the Dwarven City for the evening, or for an extended stay if necessary. Make sure they are safe. What would you all think of turning the tables on this Riga, finding her at her home? And if she wishes to discuss with us, she will do so on our terms.
There's something of an element of surprise. She says that she wishes to meet us, but she is sending us a message as Riga, not as Kabim. And from all that we have seen, she has gone to great efforts to keep her identity as Riga secret. So perhaps us meeting her on her own turf would be a way of turning the tide in our favor, sending a message.
We have to be able to guarantee my mother and Holly's safety.
Of course. If we could bring them to the Dwarven City, so far as we know, we are the only ones who know of its existence. Certainly the only ones who know how to get there.
And if the only way for any, to be fair, none of us could rightly do a map from Ashar to the city because we were teleported there. The only way we have ever been there is via teleport. So there's not even a way of gleaning that information of the location from
Well,
ourselves.
we walked to the city. We
No,
teleported.
we
No, we were
teleported. Deontay teleported us to the Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
So like Makud could not retrace our path, and that's like his racial thing because
Yeah.
we went from
You went from the
Naha-
mountains to the oasis, and I mean you vaguely know where the oasis is, but yeah.
Yeah.
To the right. Okay. He didn't teleport us to the Dwarven City, but to the
Yeah.
entrance
the
to the
entrance
Underdark.
into the Underdark. Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we couldn't find that entrance to the
So
Underdark.
we wouldn't know where that is in any case.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is my thinking. This person, by whatever name she calls herself, has attempted to intimidate us, attack us, assassinate us, scare those we love, has had them followed. Whatever it is that she wishes to discuss, it is undoubtedly to twist us to her aims. I'm sure none of us are amenable to this. But we have knowledge that she holds precious, that of her identity, as you said, Mina. If we offer her a truce, so long as she does not stand in our way in the pursuit of the ending of slavery in the city, we will not make her other criminal enterprises a target. And her identity will be kept safe. Of course, additional leverage would be wonderful, but not sure what else there is.
Our only desire is for are us and our own to be left alone. So we can offer the same to her in return.
I think it is best if Brynhild were to conduct the negotiations, but the terms we offer we must all agree upon.
We're not concerned about her seeing this as an act of aggression and turning us away.
It is certainly better than us stepping into whatever it is that she has planned this evening when she is surrounded by her own folk. I think going to her own home shows her that we are not just...
We are not her pawns.
Exactly. It is a power play, as it were.
And it is possible, Bryn, that she will turn us away at the door. They will likely be guards, and they may not grant us access. Perhaps we should spend what time we have, or Mina rather, should spend what time we have learning what we can about the grounds of her manse. So that perhaps if we cannot gain entry, perhaps we could find other ways inside.
I do not think that we need to be sneaking inside. If she wishes to speak with us, which she has sent a messenger telling us that she wishes to speak with us, we show up as we have been cordially invited.
I think that's our best plan.
We don't need to make any other sort of flexes or moves in that regard. We just show up. We are here to talk, so let's talk. We just have chosen where we are having the conversation rather than letting us be led into wherever it is she had planned for us. If her intentions are honorable, she will speak to us. If they are not and she is upset by this, then that tells us enough about her character that we needed to know, yes?
Absolutely.
She's not willing to speak to us in more even footings, then she is not worth us speaking to. And we will make further decisions from there.
So just to be clear, the only advantage we're going to gain from this is the potential of surprising her in her home and letting her know that we are very well aware of who she actually is.
Yes, it is my hope that from what we know, she has worked very hard to keep this secret identity secret. So it is entirely possible that not even her own household servants would know of her illicit activities.
I mean, that's no small advantage, to be sure.
We also protect ourselves from an ambush.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, we're still walking in to her home turf.
I'm sure she will have her own protections there, but it is certainly going to be a little bit more in our favor than whatever dark alley that she had planned. Far, far away from any sort of
No, she
city
just
guard.
has the full protection of whatever her actual identity grants her and title.
Absolutely. But if we come under the pretense of simple proprietors of the Mirage, we are famous at this point as...
There does not need to be any subterfuge about why we have come. She has given us an invitation to speak. We are going to her to speak.
And in her public identity, she is known to be anti-slavery, as are we. There is pretense enough there. There will only be cause for combat if she initiates it.
Exactly so.
And I doubt that she will want to do so within her own home and arouse the suspicion of those she has sought to keep her identity hidden from.
She just merely has to come up with some lie about what we were doing.
We need to come up with a lie, or she does?
She does.
Are we anticipating that she will like suddenly call down the guard and try to have us arrested? I do not think that this is something that we need to worry about.
Our presence outside her gates will send a strong message in and of itself. And so long as the people we care for are safely hidden away,
If she refuses to speak with us at our home, where we have a little bit more of an advantageous footing, we can just say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that you had wanted to speak. I guess you didn't," and then we don't have to go to whatever it is tonight. We made ourselves clear.
I think a pretense will be important, though.
We
If we
have
come to her as the virtues, and we come to speak not to Riga, what's the name of her Charlotte
Kabim.
name? Kabim.
Yeah,
But to Kabim, under the auspices of
we don't need to have auspices. She has sent us a message saying she wants to speak with us. We just go there and say that we are here to speak with Kabin because said that she wanted to speak with us.
But Kabin did not. Riga did.
The person at the door is not going to know this.
But it raises questions.
They will go speak to her, say, "Oh, the virtues are at the door. They say they wish to speak with you because you invited them," and either she will say no and then we are done with it, or she will say yes and we go in and we talk to her. We don't need to lie to a servant at the gate to get in.
And then if she says
The
no,
the truth serves our purpose just fine.
but if she says no and becomes upset about it, Ashara is no longer safe for our loved ones.
That is why
Which-
we take steps to secure them before we go. As Declan said. You're overcomplicating the situation a little
I'm not
bit.
overcomplicating the
I
situation.
said we. I said we. We have our solution. We get our loved ones out of the line of fire. We go and we speak to her.
I think
Bryn.
what Bryn is trying to say is you piss her off. It's not just one night they have to spend with the dwarves. It's every night.
Exactly.
Because
Either
we are
that
going
or-
to leave.
Or I have to find a way to get my mother back to Lament. Which, if I leave for Lament, I don't come back and see anything through.
Well, that need not be true, Bryn. Ethan and I are already planning on returning to Defoyne. I would be quite pleased if any or all of you chose to return with us. We could take those home who need to go home, and then return when they are safely away. But I want you to think on this, Bryn, because no matter our course, there will be those who wish us, and by extension, the people we care for, harm. If we are committed to the cause of justice, we are automatically an enemy of those who are against it. There is a choice that must be made, and it's that simple. And I will not push you towards it, but it must be made.
You make this choice for Ethan?
No, of course not. I have told her just this day that her choice in this is her own. I asked her if she would like to return. I am returning to see my business done. I made promises to her father, and he deserves to see his daughter, and to the degree that he cares for me, is assigned to see me. There are other odds and ends that must be attended to in Defoyne. But it is my intention to return, and if Ethan wishes, she can return with us. The training goes well, and she can defend herself. Go on, sorry.
I've not actually spoken to my mother about her desire to return to Lament. I mean, there's really not much there, and I don't want to push the issue. Because I don't want to make it sound like I'm abandoning her to Lament while I come back here to do whatever.
Of course. I would not cajole you if I did not think we were within a narrowly shrinking window.
It's not a decision I make for myself. Because it's. If we screw this up and we piss her off and we've miscalculated this, she will come for us. She will come for us with whatever official power she has. She will come for us with whatever unofficial power she has, and she won't stop.
What
That's if we
recourse?
don't stop her.
What recourse would she have with official powers? Exactly.
She is
I
a
don't
wealthy,
know.
wealthy woman. I am sure she could muster up
And politically connected.
any number of horrible things for us.
She is wealthy, yes. She is a real estate magnate. She is not a councilwoman. She
But
is not. She's
I'm
just rich.
I'm sure
Is it
she
not-
has
too
the
rich.
ears of plenty of council people. That's how these things work.
Is it not your experience that money buys power?
It is in my experience that Sharat is one of the few members of the council that are. He had to spend a lot of money to get his position there. This woman has not, and the council is very closed about who they let influence them outside of the elves. If
These are all.
she was a councilwoman, that would be one thing. But she is. I mean, we had no problems with Jawad.
But
She is
doesn't
a
have
wealthy
enemies.
woman. She
or
is a wealthy
friends.
woman with powerful criminal underworld connections. She is dangerous. But all of us raise
Yes, I'm
valid
trying.
points.
I'm trying to say that her official, like her herself, is not as dangerous to us as a criminal organization. It is only dangerous to us if we have to reveal who she is.
Either way, she is dangerous. And no one here raises a point that is invalid. But I say again that the choice must be made. And you cannot make that choice for your mother or for Holly.
No, I won't make this choice for them.
Ask them. Tell them what the stakes are, and if they will brave them with you. I have learned a great deal from my time with the three of you, and one of those lessons is that we cannot control the destiny of others, only our own. I have made a promise to each of you and to myself, to Sharot, to this place, to see the work done. I wish to have you each by my side as we do it. But if the fear of losing those you love prevents you from doing it, then that is something you must decide.
Either way, it is not something that we can ignore. Either we do it her way and we let her lead us into some dark alley, and we risk angering her, and our loved ones are still in just as much danger as if we show up at her gate and anger her. And
My only hard line in how we deal with Kabine is that I will not be her pawn under any terms.
No, you guys are right. This isn't something that we can ignore because then pretend it's not going to go away, or pretend that it will go away. I can't make this choice. I can't say put yourself in danger for a debt that I've incurred. Not really even a debt. It's not.
Why don't they go spend the night with the dwarves and then we see if we anger her or not, and then you don't have to agonize it over it. Either they can stay or they can choose to go.
You took the words out of my mouth, Makut. We can postpone this decision. If we get them to safety for tonight, shuttle the Mirage, we can see how things go.
I just feel like, yeah, that's how we do this. And then we'll just have this conversation later. Hey, stay with these dwarves. They're pretty cool. Oh, by the
They-
way, if you go back to a shard, you're probably gonna die.
Well, Bryn, would you rather that they stay here and have them be in danger while we are away?
No, because honestly, when we go take on the Spurned, Madar wants to come with us.
And she will not be here to watch over them.
Yeah, but I don't want to say no. But I don't want to leave them here and... No, it's fine. It's fine. I can't make this decision. I want to make this decision, but it's not my decision to make. Mac's right. We do it as a trial period. One night. Do you like the dwarves?
The dwarves are pretty cool.
And who knows, perhaps everything with Riga will work out and they come back and everything will be fine after we have reached an understanding with the crime lord that has been patroning our bar for 2 months, 3 months? How long has it been?
I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing is like, if she really wanted us to send us a message, she could have already...
She could have been waiting to make sure that we were here to see it. Because, what is it they say in Lament, if a tree falls on a bear shitting, but no one is there to see it, was the bear shitting?
Really, no, that I have absolutely no idea who told you that.
I think it's if the Pope of Lathander shits in the woods, does a bear care?
I don't even know Lamenter, and I think that's wrong.
Or was it the bear pope of Lament?
Ah, yes, of
Shits
course.
in the woods.
There's a bear pope? When do we get to see the bear pope?
I was
Campaign
saving that as a
3.
surprise. I was saving that as a surprise to get you to
Oh.
Well, we're gonna get to P, and Makud is gonna say Pope, and he's gonna say P is for Pope. Makud is Minotaur Pope.
Right,
P is for Pope who shits in the woods.
I thought you were going differently with that. I thought when we get over there, like, Makud's going to wander off to go to the toilet behind a tree and meet the bear pope. Like, and then no one believes him when he comes back.
Have you been reading my notes?
Always.
just that little bit about the bear pope. All right, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna get my mom and Holly safe. Anybody else?
Everyone we can. I would say even our staff might be appropriate.
You want to take Shamir to the dwarves?
I don't want to take Shamir anywhere, but he deserves our protection.
And are you sure we have to come back? We can't like hang out and see how that goes?
Hang out with the dwarves.
And Shamir and see what happens? Maybe
I mean, if you're talking about a permanent relocation, I suppose maybe that's a long-term retirement goal.
I just think, you know what? Never mind. I'm overcomplicating things. Let's gather the staff and the people that we need to see to safety and let them know that this is happening. And then we'll go and see the not connected lady that probably wants to murder us all. But we're not doing it in a back alley. We're just going to do it in her expensive house where she might be dissuaded from doing it because she doesn't want to get our blood on the rug.
I mean, she probably has very nice rugs.
So yeah.
But if we are going to do this, we need to do it quickly to make sure that she is still at home to receive us.
Could you do a communion? Discover what we can about her and her home, whether this plan is likely to bear fruit?
Would it change any of our decisions if I were to do so?
Depends on the severity of the answer.
I mean, if she's not at home, then we can't go see her.
If he who watches believes that this is a foolish course of action, then, well, who am I to disagree?
Yes,
But we
I
can go and knock on the door.
I can do a communion. Yes, I will see to that while you folks see to the others.
I will talk with Ethan, yes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll gather them up and give them the news.
All right. So, who are y'all gathering up and where? I guess would be the prudent question.
Holly, my mother,
Ethan.
Schmear.
Who are the
Tol-
other?
Jari.
Tolox.
Jari.
The
Shugor.
wyverns.
The wyverns are fine. Just throw some meat on the ground and make
Hey,
sure they
don't
have
make
fresh-
that decision for Makud.
Don't make it for the wyverns. It's
Yeah.
their choice.
Okay, they're free to roam the city.
We would never want to impede your agency, wyverns.
Sure. No, I had been thinking about that. I don't know how long they can go without Jari and whether Jari, or like supervision. Because if Jari goes and it's a day, maybe. If it's a week, probably not.
They're on the roof now, right? Can they fly?
They're in like a top floor aviary.
They're in a top floor aviary in one of the other buildings, and they are now big enough for Jari to sit on and fly.
So couldn't he just lead them out of the city? Like, he could probably take them out into the desert just to hunt for a day.
Props. We won't have very much communication with where he is, but he'd
I mean,
probably be safe.
He's
There's
not like the
also,
biggest target.
if any officials see a chain of like 5 wyverns lifting off of the city and flying out, there might be questions.
I mean, listen, man, this was always a risk when you decided to house
Sure.
wyverns on our roof.
Makoot
Okay?
doesn't care about the questions. I'm just bringing it up.
And
Yeah.
Abrushmina can always get in contact with Jari. She's, met him. So sending is always a thing.
Sure.
He can always come back once it is safe. Perhaps it would be good for them to stretch their wings and learn to hunt in the wild.
Yeah. They're just going to come back twice as big.
All right.
having
So are
eaten up-
you getting everyone together in one, or are you going to speak to each person individually?
Probably be more efficient to get everybody together in one.
Agreed.
Just and if we're against a time crunch, that's probably gonna work.
Yep.
Okay.
Makoot will go see Jari and the wyverns because I know you wanted that to happen last time.
Yeah. So when you go through to see them, Makood, you find Jari is carrying around like a big sort of sharpened stick, and he gives you a nod as you enter, and that's about all the greeting you get. You see these wyverns, gigantic creatures now, like still young clearly, and like some of their scales are still sort of like almost feathery, but for the most part they are getting to the stage where they're almost fully grown. They're like big enough to probably weigh about the same as Makood, strong enough flyers to carry Jari, huge jaws.
Not to interrupt you guys, but what if we fly the wyverns to fight the spurned?
Jari's 5 foot tall. Just wanna. They could probably carry
Everybody
Abrishmina.
but Makood.
They could probably carry Abrishmina, and maybe Bryn, but
Oh, I had it in my head that Jari was taller than that.
no,
Okay.
hobgoblins are like still shorter than people.
Okay.
Stout fellas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was picturing Jari as like an urukai. So that's my
No.
bad.
I think he's still kind of muscly-ish, but just
Yeah,
like
he's
shorter.
like
yeah.
from what you've
'Cause
seen of the
whenever
others.
whenever I picture hobgoblins, I picture like big, tall urukai. So that's just me.
Yeah, so no, hobgoblins are more, like they're kind of a similar build to dwarves, but slightly stretched out, so they're not as stout, but
Yeah, okay.
taller. So they are like the tallest you'd find is probably about 5.5 feet tall, hobgoblin wise, but they're like broad-shouldered, quite muscular, but not like. They're never overly muscular. They're more like cut than jacked, if that makes sense. You know, they're very fit.
They're not square.
Yeah, they're athletic. You know, they look like a swimmer rather than a bodybuilder. Their muscles are not cosmetic. They're functional.
So I follow him and his big stick.
Yeah, and you see the wyverns kind of like the demeanor towards Jari is like very submissive, and they kind of nuzzle him a bit, but they seem a little nervous around you, but you are a familiar smell like from way back when, and so eventually, like after you spend a little time with them, they are comfortable around you again.
Yeah, so he'll probably wrestle with them a little bit, probably get tangled up in them, and
Yeah.
it's gone longer than you expect someone to be gone for,
Yeah.
but eventually kind of tear himself away and get Jari to come down.
Yeah,
Cross
and they do a lot of that like dog thing where they like and like bite your arms but never exert any pressure, but like hold your arms in the teeth so that it's like, look, I got you, but they don't actually hurt you. But yeah, Jari will come at your request. Looks a little nervous about being around so many people, but he doesn't really speak, so.
Comes from complete confidence of spending most of his life in a room with 5 monsters that could rip him apart, but walk into a bar with 5 other people, and that's when he
Yeah.
starts to sweat.
Absolutely. And you gather everyone else up. Tolox walks in and like trips over a stool, and then Shugor helps him pick up the stool. Smear laughs. That's pretty much how you think that entire three-way relationship goes. And you get Bryn's friends and family. Is that everyone you wanted?
Do you
Anyone
want
at
Madara to go, or is she fine?
Should I stay or should I go?
She could probably stay here. She can handle herself. She's assassin after all.
Sure.
Ethan here as well?
Declan would have brought her. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're all assembled, looking to you for some kind of speech.
Thank you for coming here. So we've run into a bit of potential trouble, I guess more so than what we normally have. But, I mean, for the most part, you guys just know the Black Cloaks are kind of after us, I guess. We've got an invitation from their leader to meet with them. It is shady as hell, so we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go with Plan B, which involves a little bit of surprise on our part, showing up to I guess the meeting a little early, unannounced, and not where we're supposed to be. Problem with that is it puts some of you guys in danger. Now, we've got a place we can keep you guys for the night or so, just to kind of, in case, so we can work this out with the Black Cloaks. It's not really my choice to order you all to this location. So, you will be safe there. You guys can like jump in at any point in time with any pertinent details.
Doing such a good job.
Where is it we're going? Holly asked.
You're gonna go stay with some friends of ours in their city. Some dwarves that we met in our last little excursion. They live underground.
We saved their civilization, so they owe us a favor.
You get a
Why
lot
you
of
have to say it
weird,
like that?
weird looks, but they're like,
Listen, I'm just trying to like say as little as possible about the actual location because we are very certain that no one really has an idea where this is or can get there. But the less you guys know about the actual logistics of it, the better.
Smear like stands up, kind of proudly, like adjusts his beer-stained shirt and says, "Fuck that! I ain't going."
Did you have a chance to sample the Savmagrish that we brought back?
Yep.
Yeah, that's where they make it.
I don't care. I am Smear goddamn Delancey, and I ain't going nowhere for no one.
Is his name really Delancey?
You don't know.
Well, okay, all right. You know the risks. I've offered you booze. Like I said, I can't make this decision for you.
I am also not going, Sugar says. And after Smear kicks him in the shins, Tolox also mumbles that he will stay.
We're actually trying to keep you safe. You know what? Nope.
It's
Look,
their decision.
we're the ones who've been running this place. You guys have been off doing your thing. But we have put in blood, sweat, and tears. Tears are mostly Tolox. Into this place. We're not going to abandon that. Just because some assholes want to do you harm.
Well, I mean, I certainly appreciate the fact that you're willing to stay here and keep this place open and running and making money while we're gone. You're not getting a raise.
Fuck.
But your effort is noted.
Can I have a bonus?
I mean, I'll put it in your performance review.
I didn't know we were going to have those. He like whispers to Tolox.
Well, I've literally been reviewing the performers that you've been bringing in, so...
Well, if that's what the margin is, then I think we're okay.
So you admit you've been bringing in shit performers?
No, quite the opposite. If you're measuring my performance on the women I've been bringing in, I mean the performers, then, well, I think you'll agree that they've been pretty damn fine singers and whatnot.
I literally just said the opposite of that.
I wasn't listening.
We admire your bravery, and if you are willing to stay and keep our establishment open, thank you. Anyone else feel like staying?
Ethan sort of shrugs and says, "You think it's really that dangerous?"
We don't know. But we do know that you will be guaranteed safety. in a new location. It is temporary, and when we return for you, then we will begin our trip to Lament.
All right then.
If everything goes well, it could be back within a day. We just need to deal with things. But you should be prepared in case it is a bit longer.
All right then. I'll go. She kind of like smiles at Holly and the others and sort of almost to say like, you know, she'll kind of look after them or help look after them. And the rest of the group seem to acquiesce.
McCood or like, look, Jari. I imagine Jari probably didn't even really move from his side.
Yeah.
Too much, and he just kind of like looks to him and just says, I mean, everyone can hear it, but relatively quietly compared to the rest of it. We were thinking maybe you could take the wyverns out on a hunting trip, a couple of days, a week at most.
I think this would be a good plan. I've been wanting to take them out.
Good. Just wait for nightfall, and then Mina will probably message you when it is all good to return.
Very well. And he will just like walk away to go ready the wyverns.
Good looks. Happy, like he helped.
So you see Madar and Eli are like sitting by the bar, just kind of chatting quietly. And Eli sort of like turns to the group. He says, "So, will you want our help then? I'm free this evening, and Madar's always free."
I think it would be good to have backup, just in case things go sideways. Although, it does occur to me that if things do go poorly, it may be wise to leave the spool. And I'll look to Abrishmina, who I think carries it.
No, that is not good.
Oh, to look to Makud, who carries it, and say, it may be wise to leave the spool with someone who could collect our loved ones should the worst befall us.
I'll take it.
Nah, I
No.
do not think that is wise.
Why?
You'll entrust me with your place of business, but not with some spool.
Correct.
I mean, I know I
think-
give him a hard time, but he has legitimately kept this place afloat.
Declan is looking a little befuddled that he has to defend his position on this. I think the wiser choice might be with Sherrod. The Six Eyes have proven reliable and could, I think, bring them back and also see to their passage out of the city if the worst befalls us.
Yes, but this man literally ran this business while we were enslaved by the preacher.
Reliably ran this business. I think you'll find.
We have been gone for weeks, and every single time we come back, he has given us a profit. Very little of which I'm sure he is skimming off the top.
Almost none.
Declan's just rubbing his temples at this point.
Do you think that he can manage whatever this is, and like he'll like pull it out and like have it like dangling from my hand, like, and go talk to the dwarves and get our friends back?
Hey, dwarves love me.
Although my only concern is this would be the first place they look for anything related to us.
Perhaps it would be best in Jari's care then. If not Sharat's.
Sure, he would be gone. They could not get to this pool.
Mm-hmm.
My only concern is that Sherrod seems to have his hands full right now.
Yes, I do not wish to put anything else on the Six Eyes while they are trying to deal with their own issues.
Give it to Uvir, Eli says.
Which
Again,
ones?
that does not solve the problem of not putting the pressure on the Six Eyes, Eli.
Well, but he doesn't really do much other than 10 bar. And he can grab a few people if needed. Or Abba.
Would one of you take the spool?
Yeah, I said I'd take it.
No. Looking to Eli and Madar.
Well, I mean,
We know that we can trust you, and
They're coming with
If
us.
they're
we'll be
coming
with you.
us, yeah.
perhaps this is a more vital task, but I acquiesce. I only think that someone who isn't Schmier, who can be relied on to defend the spool, if need be, should hold it.
I think Jari would be more than worthy enough. And as much as I like Uvier, he is the one that taught me how to make all the breakfast whiskies. But we do not have a lot of time to prepare.
There's Abba.
Do not
True.
have a lot of time to prepare, but okay.
I mean, we're looking for a more long-term solution, those are good places, but we need somebody that can take it tonight once we've handled our business.
How many Bobley? Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
How many Bobley things did it have? Like 6 or more?
3 on each side, yeah.
3 on each side, 6.
And one of them is currently in the Dwarven City.
Yeah.
And the spool, whoever has it wraps them or whatever they want teleporting, and they go there.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
know. Here we go. I think this is where you might be going, Makud. We leave the spool with them in the Dwarven City because we can get back with word of recall.
Did you sanctify it? And like, is there a spot that is
I
devoted
sanctified here,
Yeah, but then
Right,
once you're
if we
here,
don't
you
have the
can't get to
spool.
them.
Yeah, exactly.
but they could come back. If we leave a bauble here,
I
they
see.
could come back here.
That's
But how will they know
Makud
it's
was going to
safe?
suggest giving some baubles around. I wasn't going to suggest giving the spool, but
Oh, okay.
Because they
Um,
won't know it's safe. And so...
I think the simplest and perfectly fine solution is to give it to Jari, actually.
Yeah. Let's just give it to Jobby.
He'll leave the city. He knows where the Six Eyes are. If they need to go and get everybody, he can go to them and ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple. It'll be gone and safe. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I now want to kind of know about the adventures of Jari, the
Oh, dude.
Five
it's
Wyvern
gonna be-
Bandit or something.
I've been watching a lot of military dog training videos. So I've
Okay.
got a lot of ideas for how Jari acts with the wyverns, and it's going to be awesome.
Just like with a bandolier teleportation spool and like war
Yeah.
paint under his eyes. One man army.
I very much imagine it like... You've probably seen those videos where the dog like walks between the police guy's legs.
Hmm?
And like the guy can like kneel and roll over and the dog follows him. I don't know if you've seen those videos. They're fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I
The dog
picture
is just like figure eighting in between, like
Yeah.
as he's like doing like leg squats or whatever.
it. Yeah, and like he can like
Yeah.
make hand motions and the dog will do it itself. Yeah, Jari's a
Yeah.
badass.
Yes. So let's get people safe.
Do we want to give everybody orbs at the ends of the spools? I'm speaking out of meta or whatever, but
We
just
can-
like dot a few of them around. The doors already have one. We could have one here. Jerry could take the thing. We could give one to one of the Six Eyes or Obey or something as a fallback position they might not expect.
Sure. I mean, might as well seed them around town. Maybe while Abershmina does her communion, we could put them in a few places. One at the Six Eyes, one here.
If everyone's in agreement, just thought we could also suggest that basically.
We already have like a way to get here, but we could like hide a bauble in the wyvern building across the street.
Sure, we could hide one. Absolutely.
But yes.
That would allow not just us, but other people maybe to get around.
Mm-hmm. It's time to get people safe, yes?
Yes.
You are going to be staying here with us? Mina says to Eli.
He nods. If that's where you want me.
Well, do not wish to take you away from this exercise. Looks like you're one of the few that made it through that fight unhurt.
Yeah, mostly.
You didn't tell me about it.
Well, you know, you have only just got back. He like glances at Bryn and McCoo.
It happened a week ago.
Well, you're busy.
I'm sure he was just dealing with the fallout of it, you know, didn't want to worry us.
Yeah, I didn't want to worry you.
Insight check.
It wasn't bad.
5. That's okay. I only can roll an 8, so 20.
He is maybe a little more hurt than he's letting on, but you do think it's because he didn't want to worry her mostly.
Well,
and you can't really see any physical damage, but he's maybe holding himself a little gingerly. It's probably like a leg injury and maybe some cracked ribs type thing.
Her basis of comparison was broken arms and busted faces and teeth, and you did not describe any such things with him.
Like there's no visible damage to him.
Yeah,
he's very pretty.
Are we all going to the Dwarven City, or are we just kind of... how are we doing it?
I would like to stay here and do the commune.
I'll stay behind with Abrashmina if Bryn and Makud want to go and explain what we're doing.
Makud will go because he can speak the language.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because Bryn
And he wants to go see a city full of his best friends.
Absolutely. Introduce them.
And I will, really quickly before you guys disappear, I'll just say to Ethan, if it's at all possible, if we do not return, a young girl and her brother are currently living in the Temple of Istus. They are called Tira and Morin, and they are under my care. If you make the return trip to Thoin without me, please take them with you, and ask your father to care for them.
All right. I will.
Thank you.
Gives you a big smile, like kind of smile that's like, of course you have 2 children living in a temple that you're looking after, but it's that sort of like, kind of not weary, but like, oh Declan, but also you know she's proud of you for being a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you say children, but Murin is like 17.
I mean, he's a kid.
Eyes of the law.
Yeah. I know.
He's a drug-addled 17-year-old.
They are intelligent and talented. I'm sure they can make something of themselves given the opportunity.
He's like Matthew Lillard from Hackers.
Nah, he's more like Matthew Lillard from Scooby-Doo.
Wow, jinkies.
Well, see, I said Hackers because he was a 17-year-old in Hackers. So
I said
Such a bad
Scooby-Doo
movie.
because he's a
it's better Hackers than Scream, though, right? Am I right? Am I right?
So, shall we do dwarf things? Who's all going to Dwarf Town, USA?
Won't you take me to...
Anyone is welcome, but I am going, I guess.
I mean, I can go, but I can't be the negotiator. I mean, I can...
Sure. I mean, you might be able to negotiate some more Sav McGrich or something. Just like wildly
You are
gesticulating.
doing a favor for us. Please give us more Sav McGrich's power.
No, I meant we could pay for it. I'd
Oh.
like just a deal. I am going. He might take Jari in a flash of brilliance. He would take Jari to show him how it's used because we did not show Jari how to
It's
use
true.
the thing.
Declan will take one of the beads and use stone shape to seal it under the floor of the mirage.
We don't know how teleporting to these beads is going to work until
Yeah,
I
so-
actually go there. So
so
if it's under
Mc-
the floor, we might end up in the floor. And then
Oh, I
dead.
guess that's
So
true.
when you
So-
show Jari how to use it, Makud, are you gonna actually do it? Run a tester?
Yes.
Okay, so where are you leaving a ball to teleport to?
Makud does not like the idea of it being underground, though it's a smart idea from Declan. Makud wants it. Like he's gonna. If he puts one under the ground, Makud is just gonna give another one to Bryn, and then I'll go.
Okay. So, Bryn has one, potentially. Basically, it's going to work as you teleport to the nearest unoccupied space. So,
Sure.
if you can't
But we
fit...
didn't know for sure.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, if you teleport to one that's underground, you will teleport above ground. Or in a cavern that is closer to above ground, below ground.
All fall into the basement. Into
What, without having to RP this whole experiment, can we say that the one in the wall or in the floor works just fine?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
After some brave experimentation. All right.
Sure, brave. Not stupid. Makud will like wrap it around everybody, including himself. And then if anyone asks, have you done this before? Makud will go, not at all. And just disappear.
All right. Well, Makud, you appear in the war room where you guys planned with. Oh, I can't remember his fucking
Mara?
name.
Uh-oh.
Damara.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Is he in there, or has he just left it on
He
the
is
table?
currently not in there.
Okay.
But you can tell where the little ball is, and it's been placed in there's like a secret drawer, or a secret like hatch in the center of the table at the underneath that the ball has been placed in.
Okay.
And so half the people appear on top of the table.
Sure.
Papers all akimbo.
Or like stone tablets or something. What if I step out now and they've all like been turned into mind flayers or something? They're actually evil.
Oh no!
And the mind flayers were good guys all along.
No.
Makud is going to like look around. Oh, I've been here. This is where we planned war. And then he's going to like go for the door.
Yeah.
I imagine he's standing and everyone else is on the table or something, and they're roughly the
Yeah.
same height. So.
And so they all kind of look around like slightly awkwardly, but Makud seems to know what he's doing, and for some reason they trust him.
Don't worry about the war. Promise
yeah.
he was kidding.
And so they will follow you out, and you find Damaro, and he kind of like he walks through. This bit's kind of adjoined to like the section he lives in, and he walks through, and he's got like a drink in his hand. He goes, "Oh, Makud, I had not expected to see you so soon."
We did not expect to be back so soon. And he kind of like scratches the side of his muzzle or something as everyone kind of files out of this war room. We have a little short favor.
Of course.
We came back home and seems like some black cloaked people are like being a pain. And I mean, they tried to kill me once. They have not tried to kill anyone else that I love that I think. They've just been, threatening and stuff. We are going to go sort them out, maybe. But we were hoping maybe that these people, that all of the people who saved your nation, these are the loved ones, and he kind of just like gestures. Could you look after them like they were your own?
It would be my pleasure. Do
Excellent.
you require assistance up top?
Surface invasion!
Just
I
Makud
actually had-
like teleports back with 3 battalions of dwarves.
The thing is, when people were talking about taking them down here, I actually thought about what if we brought dwarves up to the surface, just had like a guard battalion in the pub, so whenever they come into the garage, there's just all these crossbows trained on people. So it has actually passed my mind already. These are not the squid people. These are just people in cloaks. I'm very good at killing people in cloaks. If there is more issue, maybe. But
Well,
I don't think so.
you have done our people a great service, Makud. If you wish it, there will be many who would fight alongside you.
There may come a time, but for now you have to enjoy the victory down here.
Oh, we
Also,
have-
none of these people speak your language.
that is no problem. I speak theirs. He will like turn to them all and say, "Hello," and they will all sort of like look awkwardly and say hello back.
And Makoto go, this is Demaro. He's the only one here that can understand you. So, though all the dwarves are great people, and will probably offer you far too much alcohol, Demaro will see you safe.
That's very kind of you, Holly will say. And Tamara will like chuckle and nod, and he says, "Well,
Oh, this one is a cook. Little Holly can cook good.
oh." And he will like straighten up a little, and he says, "Maybe you will have to teach us some of your sun-kisser recipes."
We should have brought some ingredients.
We have ingredients here. Now, have any of you?
Makood leans in and really loudly whispers, "It's a lot of fungus."
And Tamara will say, like, have any of you heard the story of the Battle of Tomokep? And we'll like begin leading them off, just like through to a room where there's some kind of booze that he's just now like pouring for them all. And they all look very awkward and kind of give you a couple glances, but seem in good hands.
Makood like thumbs up or something. They walk away.
Parent on the first day of school.
Yes, exactly. He's just gonna go. Apart from this one, he's coming back with me, and he'll just like stop Joey from walking off if he was, because he was there along for the ride. Obviously.
Jari's just looking around. His eyes are still like, kind of, not particular. He's like mildly interested, but he seems anxious to get back.
Makood is just like turns to him as they both walk back into the war room or something. And goes, "This place is amazing. We have to come back here.
Whatever you say."
You will not believe the things that we have done here." And he's like, as he's saying that, just like loops around both of them and bamf.
Yeah. And you can like set Jari up with the spool, and you see him like kind of get as he like goes to leave. He prepares stuff, pulls on a backpack. He's got like a big kind of poncho thing. He will like set all but one of the wyverns flying, and they kind of take off, and then the last one takes off, and he just kind of gives you a nod, and then like turns and kind of jumps off the roof and like hooks on with his big stick, and like swings his way up to sit on one of their backs. He's badass. Meanwhile,
Go on, Gandalf.
he's like Ninja Gandalf. Meanwhile, Abrishmina, you're communioning.
I am.
Declan's going to do infusions, but I'll get back to you on the results after.
Sounds banging.
Okay, yeah, Abrishmina is going to go up to her room to do the communion, leaving the bar to Tolix and the others. And so she's going to go up to her room and prepare her communion and ask her questions. These are the yes, no, or unclear short answer ones. I get 3.
Yeah.
The first question is, does Cabine keep her identity as Riga a secret from the people in her home?
Mostly.
Will she be angry if we go to her home?
I haven't really figured that part out yet. No.
Is the meeting she has planned for us a trap?
No.
That is happening. And she'll kind of finish her communion to kind of sit in her room and sigh. I don't know if Eli...
He would
Followed
leave you to
her
it because he knows you're communing.
Mm.
No, he wouldn't disturb holy vigils.
Oh. Then she's going to sit in her room for a moment, and I guess get up and get out of her nice... was going to have a nice time with her boyfriend clothes and get her armor on.
Door.
a little weary.
Yeah. And after Declan's done with his infusions,
He failed.
bad luck, son.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why I called you son. That was weird. Bad luck.
Although technically, I realized the way the item is written, Declan can never fail because of reliable talent. But I'm just gonna hand wave that and say it doesn't apply to this, so I don't have to.
I think that's fair. Because he's learning. Maybe once he's an old hand.
Yeah.
And so I think with that we will fast forward to the meeting itself. So, what is your plan? What would you like to do? When would you like to leave? And where would you like to go?
Declan is going to let everyone know in advance. I'm going to stay behind. I would like Makud, if you would. And I'm going to pull out Biscuit, who is in the shape of a little sparrow. If you could take Biscuit for me, he will be my eyes and ears. I will observe and come to your aid if need be.
But Declan, she wants to meet with the 4 of us. You don't think that would be overcomplicating things a little bit? Imagine you were a crime lord that was trying to keep your things secret. You were already getting things not quite your way, but you might be amenable to how it goes. But you do this. You do not think that might be construed as rude?
It might be.
It's not a matter of being rude, it's expecting us to try to pull something.
Yes, I think we should be open and honest, and you not being there gives the illusion that you might be in the shadows planning something, might jump out and in a moment and stab her in the back. Oh, yeah, we need to all be there, I think. I do not like this.
I think instilling fear in her is an appropriate response to what she has engaged so far.
I'm trying to get us to do this in a way that will give us the best chance for success. You do not feel like this might be shooting ourselves in the foot a little?
I don't know, but I suppose I feel strongly.
If we anger her, our family will no longer be safe in Ashar. We've already covered this ground, but I don't know why we are going out of our way to potentially upset her. Surprise her, I'm all well and good with, but we are very clearly messing with someone who has a lot of power, whether it's official or unofficial. She probably wouldn't even see us if there was just 3 of us.
I doubt that, but if you wish. My presence is always more effective in the shadows.
But the point of this meeting is to get her to leave us alone, get her out of our lives. Then we do not need to do any sort of anything to make her question the decision to do so. She
That
might
is your
view it-
desire.
She might view it as a trap if we are not all there.
I disagree. But if that is your desire, then very well.
The last time that we were separated in an instance like this, we had to modify memories and pretend to summon demons and fight Brachydos. I think we are better off if we are together.
Don't find the situations analogous, but very well.
All right. So, what time-ish of day are you guys planning on leaving? Like, are you waiting till it's dark? Are you waiting till it's midnight?
No, I think our plan is to try and go there while it's still a reasonable time to receive
Okay.
visitors, but close enough to tonight to be like,
So, like,
you're adult
early
content.
evening-ish.
Yes.
Okay.
Could I actually have Biscuit fly around when we're a little bit away?
Yeah.
I could go ahead and have Biscuit fly around the estate and see if I can get eyes on
Yeah,
her.
so here's the question I've been holding in. Where are you going?
To her house.
So where's that then?
She's a well-known Shala, and
Yeah, but where's Dwayne Johnson's house? You know what I mean?
No, so that was one of the things I was expecting you to commute about.
I kind of figured that since Abrashmino recognized her from the image from what's-his-face, that Abrashmino would know where to find her.
I mean, I'll refer you to my previous Dwayne Johnson-based statement.
I mean, she knew who she was based off of visual alone.
Sure, but if someone's famous and say went to the Vicar once and people pointed her out as a guest of honor at the Vicar, you wouldn't know where she lives. I guess he makes a reasonable point, and we're not spies, but we know a bunch of them who may very well know where she is.
I mean,
so you could go ask them.
Totally. I mean, couldn't Declan lean on some of his
Eli
informants?
Does
Well,
Eli
yeah,
know?
Eli might know.
Does
Shirat
Eli
might
know
know.
where she
Yeah, we
lives?
certainly have the ability to find out.
Off the top of my head, I've got no idea. Shirat might, but
It wasn't her
assumed
closet that he was in.
No,
Yeah,
it was Inshallah.
no.
I just kind of assumed we would know where she was.
Well, you know what they say about making assumptions.
So could Declan do some investigation in the rich part of town?
I mean, you can. You've spent some time on your infusions and stuff, so it depends how late you want to be. That kind of stuff.
Sure. Fair enough.
Shirat might know. There might be ways of finding out.
I mean, can you do locate person, and we'll just walk through the area?
I will just. Let's see. Do. I will cast Commune again.
Commune just yes or no answers. So.
Oh yeah, shit, fuck. Damn it!
You can't go. What is the address?
Yes, Town, USA.
Yes, Town, USA. Fuck. Well, locate person would be an option, or no, it's locate creature. There's no locate person spell.
The spell that does that thing.
Yeah, and I don't have it prepped. And creature, I would have to say human, and so that wouldn't help.
Shirat's connected both officially and unofficially. I really feel that he would probably know that his
he would probably. Yeah.
or allies are at any given
We'll make
time.
a quick stop at the butcher shop.
At least whatever her public face is.
Yeah.
He may not know all her safe houses.
That's the face we want right now, though.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So stopping by, Shirat will have a look around his kind of files and stuff, and eventually come up with an address for you. She lives in the wealthiest part of the Palace District, which is saying something. An
Next door
extremely.
to the last place, isn't it? To the
it's
place with
it's
this
it's really not far away. It's a
Sure.
couple streets away. But definitely near enough. She lives like when you kind of arrive nearby, you find like her house is frankly obscene in size. Like it's this gigantic manse of like beautiful, but more subtle than a lot of the shells you've seen. Like decor, like where lots of them have like living tigers and peacocks and that sort of
She's
shit.
very tasteful.
Yeah, hers is very much more like designed to be wealthy to the discerning.
Understated aesthetic.
Yeah, a little bit. But you can see there's like these big kind of black gates outside, and a beautiful like white stone house beyond. You can see like there is a fair amount of city guard presence around here, and you do see like you're getting a lot of lingering looks.
We will show ourselves to the gates and ask for entry.
Yeah, so you see that there's one Barakados guard standing arms crossed. And he kind of like looks at the four of you, nods, and turns to walk inside for a moment. And then he comes back out maybe 5 minutes later, opens the gate for you and beckons you in.
Can I instead check the guard, see if there's any malice or ill intent behind
Sure.
him?
He's wearing a black cloak.
Aha! That's a 25.
No ill intent that you can determine. You think he's hiding kind of his surprise at seeing you pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
No
don't think he's
intention to
gonna
draw his sword.
No.
I just want to ask, is Eli and Madar with us, or are they hanging back?
Whichever you would have asked them to do, they will do.
I mean, just if they just come with us, I mean, or they could try to hide.
I'm okay with them trying to hide like across the street or whatever.
Either way.
Yeah.
Have them hide?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. They are hiding.
Just wanted that established
Yeah,
before
yeah,
he went
sure.
in.
So you're led into this very nice lobby. Inside is decorated like very bright, and there's a beautiful skylight up above. And you kind of wait there for a little bit before you hear like the padding of bare feet, and coming down the like big kind of stone polished steps. You see a very beautiful woman, like dark hair, that golden Ashari skin. She's wearing like a kind of flowing, loose green dress that kind of like bunches up at one shoulder. She was clearly like expecting, you know, to want to make an impression. And she's wearing this very kind of satisfied almost smile as she pads down the stairs. And
Inside check.
you can inside check her.
Same.
That is a 27.
Mina?
Mina is 21.
Okay. You both think she's comfortable. She maybe has been caught a little off guard, but you don't think it's like changed her plans or anything, you know. but she's definitely trying to give off an air of like, I've got them right where I want them.
Can I insight check your roll? I'm kidding.
My roll?
I'm just kidding. This is to see if you're lying to me.
Oh, ha. I was
I
like,
want
what?
I want to insight check the DM.
Yeah, so she sort of walks on, like, opens her arms a little bit. Welcome. I had not expected to meet you here.
Well, we knew that you wanted to speak with us. We thought we would save you the trip.
Very well. Will you join me in the drawing room? She kind of walks past you all towards a like large set of doors, which she opens into a very cool, very quiet room full of like books, with some very comfy chairs. And like a
I'm gonna
chaise.
roll perception to just kind of scan the room for threats, hidden traps, dangers, people
Sounds
hiding
like
in the
a
wings
good
with crossbows.
idea.
Natural 20.
You see a battalion of dwarves hiding behind a curtain.
Ah!
No, there's nothing really that you can see that would put you at ill at ease.
Okay.
This seems
So-
like you're just walking into someone's house and they weren't prepared.
Does she have any illusions about?
No.
Okay. I was asking because I have that little bracelet armband thing that
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. No. No illusions.
you know, the thing that you gave me that I can now
Yeah,
do.
I can't be expected to keep track of every broken magic item I give away.
That is
Yeah,
why
you probably should.
that is why, like, you know, I was asking for you.
Yeah. I mean, remind me if you have a thing that lets you do things that the normal rules wouldn't allow.
I can water breathe if it comes
Thanks.
up.
Makood falls into a pit of water.
Okay, you can breathe.
It's like a James Bond like villain trap. Like water fills the room.
Or it's just a puddle that he's fell into.
I've seen that vine.
It's okay.
Oh,
Glass
no.
movie
Yes,
style.
I was
Yeah.
about to like, oh no, it's the Black Clover Society. Come to drown the up and coming god Makood.
She
I know my only weakness.
she begins pouring some glasses of what appears to be a very expensive brandy, and hands them out to you all before taking a sip of her own. So, I must say you're rather different to what I was expecting.
And what were you expecting?
I so want the fan art of her saying that, and the shot is just us all crammed onto one sofa, all like really delicately holding these brandy glasses, like Makood on the end, like wedged up. And it's just Bryn's speech bubble. What were you expecting?
I
Mina's like
suppose
up
I
on
was
your lap a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, defo.
I suppose I was expecting a little more rough and tumble types.
You have to cultivate a certain reputation.
Makood holding his glass like between like thumb and forefinger, just like whispers
Pinky
to
out.
yeah, whispers to whoever's next to him. It's working.
Well, you have definitely been making an impression on us. Just, well, we aren't exactly sure of your intentions, considering you tried to kill our friend Makood here.
What is a little attempted murder between friends?
We are not quite
Grins
friends
at you.
yet. We are not quite friends yet. It's just attempted murder then.
Declan is biting his tongue a great deal, but he says, "You would do well to dispense with pretense and deal with us openly and honestly."
It's kind of like
That is
raises an
our
eyebrow a
intent.
little.
That is our intent with you. We had no quarrel with you at all when you began making moves against us.
Well, that is fair, but I have not got where I am in life without taking the first move every now and then.
Be that as it may, but all that you managed to all you succeeded in doing was bringing yourself to our attention. Was that your intent?
And the
Not
basement full of
immediately.
dead people.
Mm-hmm.
Not immediately. I had hoped to remove you as a worry, but when I found that several of my people had fallen at the hands of Amar Utu, she grins, I reconsidered. I think we have a lot to offer one another.
Abarashmina will kind of gesture for her to continue speaking. Since she's the one that brought us here, she's the one that has to convince us, not the other way around.
I have a lot of means, a lot of people, and goals not unaligned with your own.
Such as?
Such as the removal of the Moon Elves from power.
I mean, it's not. I mean, I guess if we do stop slavery, that may end up being our ultimate goal.
Slavery is inherent to their culture and so to ours. If we are to end it, then we must end them.
As I'm beginning to learn, you have to forgive me. I am a foreigner after all.
Of course.
Now,
And go ahead.
what concerns us, though, is the means at which you wish to achieve this goal.
What means are those? Violence?
Well, that's potentially. I mean, I personally am not opposed to it, but and understand its necessity at times. However, we have to be careful that what we are putting in place or proposing to put in place is not worse than the system we are overthrowing. The cost of it, I guess you could say, is not more than we're willing to pay. And she'll kind of glance at Declan like, am I getting this right?
Declan's got his mask on. You don't know.
Is he really? Okay.
Either way.
It's his virtue personality or persona.
Yeah, exactly.
So let him have this one.
Okay.
He's not hiding behind a potted plant in the corner.
He
It's
is such a nerd. I love him. So she will say, well, this will come to conflict. It must. There is no other way. And what comes after, well, I suppose that is something of why I wish to forge an alliance with you. For through you, I would have something of a contact with the Six Eyes, and between our three institutions, I believe we can come up with something.
Unfortunately, the third member of that alliance is not represented, and you have to understand that we could not commit fully to any such alliance without them having a voice in this.
Of course, I am not suggesting that we sign in blood tonight. I am just saying that everyone benefits if we come to at least an understanding, and then maybe you and I and the Six Eyes can meet again.
May I ask a question?
You may.
What was the point in trying to kill Makut? If this
Well,
is what you wanted,
when I killed Makud, I did not.
tried to kill. He has not been
Yes.
killed yet.
When I tried to kill Makud, I was not currently working towards this goal. Or at least, I was not as far along. I only knew that you were potentially interrupting and bringing something of a halt to some of my operations within the city.
And what operations were those?
Clandestine ones.
At the time, we were only dealing with the preacher and his cronies. Are you saying that you were allied with him?
No, but you upset the apple cart.
We were making waves, and some of those waves brushed against your shores.
Yes, or, well, you.
I do not wish to speak in metaphor. Tell me now, what business do you do? How many bodies does your empire lie atop?
Well,
How much vice and evil do you traffic in?
you ask for honesty, yet you will not show me your face? I hardly think that is fair.
Our friend is.
You have
I'm
not proven yourself trustworthy.
You did try to kill us, after all, and you have been making subtle threats against our own businesses for months now.
You attempted to kill my friend. You've stalked us through the streets. Made our friends and family feel unsafe in their own home. Why do you think you deserve to be treated with it all?
Because I am very rich.
I don't give a damn about your wealth. You are corrupt to the core.
Well, that is quite the accusation. She kind of is doing like a very exaggerated, like almost pretending to be offended type noise. But, well, my operations are clandestine. I do not hide that from you, but I think we want the same thing. That is...
You are wrong. If you want a world in which you can profit off of violence and death, then we do not want the same thing.
When have I said that?
It is implicit.
Well, my aims are not violence and death. They are freedom and wealth. She kind of shrugs.
And these are things that you get by threatening and trying to murder citizens of Ashar who have nothing to do with the elves?
Well, that was an unfortunate side effect, but
if your goal is to undermine the elves and to take them out of power, you should have nothing to do with the Assar citizens at large.
I think you should understand something about me. I am willing to do whatever it takes to see my home freed.
Insight check. 30.
You think for the first time she's like speaking very seriously.
Can I get a sense of what she means by freedom? Is she talking about slavery, or is she talking about like freedom for the upper class to rule?
She's talking about slavery and the ownership of her city by the elves.
She was not born a sheller. She was a common person that just got a shit ton of money because she was really good at her public
Fucking
life
everything.
and her clandestine activities. She's benefiting from the clandestine stuff.
But what bothers me is the use of the word clandestine, right? She's
Yeah.
deliberately like leaving out all the baggage that comes with working with her. Like we can't go on calling ourselves the virtues if all of our allies are virtueless.
Yeah, she's like Sherrod without any scruples.
Right.
Because at least Sherrod has principles.
McCrude has finished his drink and placed it down on some side table or something. He's gonna like lean forward and just say, "What is it? What is in it for you? Do you want to rule? Will you give up the black cloaks if they have no need? When the elves are gone, will you just go away?"
Go away? No, this is my home. But my less savory activities will stop. My goals will have been achieved. I have more than enough money. That is not why I do what I do. I do what I do because I love my city and the people in it. And my whole life I have watched them be slaves, whether literally or figuratively, to the whims of the elves.
And so you plan to assassinate the people who work towards the goal you say you share?
She has admitted that it was perhaps a mistake, but I just wish for her to explain how any of her current operations are actually working towards this goal of freeing the city of Ashar. Like, what are your plans? Or are you just trying to see if the Six Eyes or ourselves can do the thing that you say you want? Because as it is right now, and forgive me if this seems rude, but what exactly are you doing to help the city right now with your actions?
So, I mean, you would know, not that this is necessarily like the be all and end all answer to the question, but you would know she's like very publicly super into charity. And it's like a big thing for her brand.
She's wanting her to answer.
I'm just providing you some extra context. It's like she gives a lot of her wealth away, but she says, "Well, you have mentioned my black cloaks a fair amount.
What is the point of them?"
The point of them is to be an army.
Then why are they turned towards the city of Ashar and not towards the palace with the elves?
What do you mean turn towards the city of Ashar?
Your illicit activities.
Yes.
What service do they provide that helps you achieve your goals, other than putting fear and intimidation into the citizens you claim that you want to free?
I smuggle weapons. I deal with warriors. I am trying to build a force of freedom fighters that will take this city by force. And then, once we have beaten back the elves, then we will be free.
Like to insight check.
You may.
Because there's nothing that we should have been doing that would have ever put us on her radar. If that was true. 23.
Yeah, I mean, you think she doesn't actually, like you said, it was not necessarily a mistake to kill you, but she sees the error of it now. You think, the reason that you upset what she was doing is that you were fucking about at the dock, and that's where she does all of her work, her secret stuff. And
You're roboting a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, I can hear you now a little better, Rob. I think what's Like, like what are those activities, and how is that supposed to support the revolution?
Sorry, I was switching over internet there.
Oh, okay.
I didn't catch any of that. My apologies.
Oh, okay. No, that's all right. It seems like there's a disconnect between what you're trying to communicate and what we're understanding. Like, are we getting the impression then that like she's sincere in her desire to build a revolution? She's not somebody that's like selling drugs to the people that she wants to free. Like...
Yeah, I mean you've had really no interaction with what she's been doing other than when they attacked Makud.
I think with the apple cart thing, it's because she is smuggling stuff into the country illegally, and we were like, we're gonna, publicly do away with all of the smuggling of people, and I presume that made her antsy, and she had a bunch of warriors. Let's just knock them out.
So yeah, the impression you're getting is pretty much that, but the only thing I would add is like, she is entirely ruthless in her pursuit of this goal. She has grown up in this horrible situation, and now that she has the means to, there is nothing and no one greater than the greater good of saving her city. If that means that she has to kill 50 people, she will kill 50 people. If that means she has to, burn down half the city, she will burn down half the city to save the rest of it.
Right. So, okay, well, if that
it's
is
not
clear...
Nice.
No, but if that is clear, though, I mean, for Declan, that's more than enough reason not to work with this person. Because Declan is not willing to burn down half the city to save it, but whatever, that's meta conversation.
She is like, the superhero who always has to choose between saving the city or saving the girl kind of thing. She would save the city and wouldn't even think twice about it.
Sure, but a supervillain would burn down half the world to save the other half.
Yeah,
that's what distinguishes Superman from Lex Luthor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I wouldn't say she's quite Thanos, because she's not like actively like, we need to kill these people, but she's like, if this is how it's gonna go down, then I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm all in. You think she'd give anything?
Gotcha. Okay.
Including
that's a little more clear now.
Including her soul.
Right.
Boy.
Best intentions and all that.
Demons suddenly explained.
Demons.
So I believe we are actually at a bit of an impasse here. We're not really able to, commit the Six Eyes to anything. We need to discuss amongst ourselves the actual repercussions of your potential alliance and things of that nature. We are actually in the middle of handling a few other things, so I propose that we go handle our business and then perhaps take some time to discuss amongst ourselves the potential of working with you, or if we think that perhaps we should just stay out of each other's way. That's something we could work out as well. And then we can just reconvene and discuss, because while we may not necessarily be able to work with you, we also may be able to facilitate at least a meeting between you and potentially the Six Eyes, if that's something that you wish to achieve.
She nods. I understand, but you should know this. No matter what you decide, I'm not going to stop.
We're
So
not
if you are
asking you to stop.
if you are with me, then that is good. If you are not, and you get in my way, then I will take you out of my way.
Oh, I really wish you hadn't have said that. It would have been a lot easier to champion your case if you hadn't said that. But what I actually am proposing is a truce for now.
A truce
Until
is
we're
fine for me as well. If you do not interrupt my operations, there will be no discord between us.
I see no foreseeable way how our current course of action would have anything to do with you directly.
I mean in the long term, but I understand.
We have bigger things to be concerned about, like a man with an army of sandworms coming through and destroying a shah to rubble. So we will take care of that.
There is that.
And you can work on building your army. Otherwise, there will be no city for you to fight for.
Do feel free to continue to have your black cloaks drink in our bar if you wish, but encourage them to spend a little more coin. It always makes our bartender a little happier.
She chuckles. You get the sense she really likes Bryn.
Maybe they don't wear their black cloaks in the bar.
That's true.
You
will
know,
not.
you get very used to killing black cloaks, and then when you see them around,
My
and he
people.
kind of just lets that trail
Yeah.
off.
She's
There
grinning.
will, yes, there will not be a need for the message anymore.
She's grinning, and she says, "Now that we have reached something of an accord, we will remove ourselves from your presence."
We go now to save your city. Pray we never need to save it from you. And Declan will turn and go.
Thank you for your hospitality. Once we've handled this bit of business, we'll return and at least try to facilitate a meeting.
I would appreciate it.
It's the least we can do.
She just nods.
Food, I imagine, is like maybe the last out of the room, and he will just go, "Next time, send 20," and then like close the door.
She'll, as
Loudly.
you're going, she will call after you, and she says, "Next time, Makud, I will send 50."
Uh,
Now that's more like it.
as they're kind of having this exchange, Abrashmina is going to try to take the glass that she gave us.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check.
That will be a 20.
Okay, so as you go to walk out, you're kind of like crossing the foyer, and the Barakados guy steps forward and grabs your upper arm.
He wasn't in the room,
Yeah, he was.
so you didn't describe him as being in the room, but okay.
He's part of the furniture. No, but you're crossing the foyer out anyway. You're not in the room anymore.
I wouldn't have been trying to take a drink out of the foyer. I was trying to take the drink that was in my hand.
Yeah,
in the room.
but you have to walk through the foyer to get out of the building.
Yes, but I'm not like holding it in my hand like a nerd.
Well, you rolled bad on your sleight of hand check, so you weren't. Well, you didn't roll
I'm
bad.
trying
but
to argue that he wasn't in the room whenever I hit it. So how would he see it?
I'm God, and he was.
She might have noticed it and said, "Stop her."
Okay, fine.
It may have like you may have a glass-shaped thing in your pocket,
Yeah.
and it's just like
Is that a glass,
Trying to
or are
frisk
you pleased
people.
to see me?
Stranger danger.
Yeah, you're cool.
He just stops her.
Yeah, he rolled a 27 on his.
if he grabs her
perception check.
hand, Makuda's going to be tense. I'm just saying,
yeah.
like
No,
Makuda's
that's
going
fine.
to be close.
Yeah, Abrashmin is just going to look up at him
He just holds
or
out a hand
down
for the
at him.
glass.
How tall is he?
Yeah, he's like 6'2", 6'3".
Okay,
He'll hold out a
She'll,
hand for the glass.
hand it over.
And you hear Kabine giggling a little bit, and he will see you all out. Like, he releases you as soon as you've got the glass.
Yeah.
To be clear.
She was trying to take a personal effect so she could
Yeah.
have a better chance on scrying on her later.
Yeah, he knows. He knows that game.
Yeah.
Like they're
The best.
trained. They're trained in all that shit. Yeah.
I should have asked Declan to try and do
Declan's not very good at sleight of hand.
Steal it. No.
I took proficiency in like nature and medicine.
Well, then maybe Bryn. I should have asked Bryn for. Oh well.
If Makud asked, she probably would have given it to him.
Oh well.
But yeah, I think as you guys file out, we'll take a break there.
Sure.
Sure. How much more time do you got, Dylan, roughly?
About an hour. I should be wrapped up in an hour because I've got to like get an online video conference going.
Sounds good, man.
Okay.
We can get that done.
Cool.
No worries. All right. I'll catch you on a bit.
See, guys, it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, she's clearly a bloodthirsty maniac, but okay.
I mean, yeah, I bet, like, if we weren't gonna, she's a reasonable bloodthirsty maniac.
I mean,
Sure.
we could step. For instance, we don't know how much gold she has on that ship. So if we decide to kill all the Brackados and take the gold or whatever, she might think we've got in her way and then kill our family. Like,
Right.
reasonable.
She's not a good ally.
Yeah.
She's a
If we're trying to
psychopath.
be the good guys, she's not an ally for us.
No, definitely. But like, what I mean is like, she wasn't gonna she wasn't gonna try and Dexter us while we were all there.
Honestly, the better solution is to take her out.
Yeah, she could have tried, and then Bryn wouldn't have, and then Makud would have killed her, and Bryn wouldn't have been under threat every day of her life.
I mean,
I feel she's a bit of a problem. I mean, we could.
Murder her right now.
To be honest, ever since we met the dwarves and saved them, I've been thinking that now we have an army, and they've even offered without me even prompting. So she might have her black cloaks, and then when we march in with legions of dwarves, Makud won't cry when we, run her over on the way to the palace.
And I mean, the hope here, like, toppling the Moon Elves has never been like a priority for Declan. It's about ending slavery, and toppling the Moon Elves is the only way to do that, maybe. But the goal is to build a popular movement, that doesn't result in hundreds of thousands of people caught in the middle.
Yeah, like if we can pressure the Moon Elves into ending slavery, that's good enough.
Right, exactly. You build enough. Like, so we talked about this with what's his face?
Sherrod.
With Sherrod, and also with the guards that we were talking to. Like the idea of like sort of boxing the Moon Elves in because they've just lost all their support. And forcing them to just hand over power, hopefully bloodlessly. That may not work out that way. But
I love that you're aiming for the political resolution to this campaign. I absolutely I love that you're trying, and we'll love to see you try. But I have a feeling there is going to be some bloodshed.
It's probably totally, of
but,
course. And Declan is slowly, accepting the fact that the work is bloody sometimes, but like. Someone's got to prove themselves a true monster, and she reeks of monstrosity.
Like she thinks she supposedly has the best intentions or whatever, but I think she's.
But you know what they say about the road
I've
to
fought
hell.
my way up. Exactly, paving the best intentions was referencing before, because I think this is an interesting example of that. That she's molded by this very society and all the things like Declan sees as wrong with it, and she wants to fix it, but she's on the inside and he's on the outside, and it's made two very different people.
I mean, Declan's also a product of the street, and of a horrible society, but he's very judgmental of other people who
who haven't
taken a different path.
That's why Coach is like, and what's the point of all of this? Are you going to rule, or are you going to go away? Because and at least I thought the thing for Declan might be is if she's willing to give up all of the black cloaks and just all that incriminating stuff after it's done, if she's willing to drop that and go away, maybe it's okay, which is why I offered that. But she said she would, but her methods are obviously distasteful.
Yeah, I mean, she seems like she's up for mass executions and stringing up Moon Elves by the neck and shit, French Revolution shit. Which let's try to dodge that bullet.
Yeah. It's like we don't need to commit genocide on a race of elves to free slavery unless they bring it on themselves. It's like, because that's the meanest thing. If they raise up arms and that's the decision they make, then yeah, we can totally murder all of them and she wouldn't feel guilty about it. But to plan on murdering all of them when there's a chance they could be talked down or reasoned with, that's not cool.
I mean, we know a few
Yeah,
supposedly
exactly.
good.
With
At
her,
least.
it would be strung up with alongside the rest of them.
Yeah, I don't think she'd see the difference.
Yeah.
And
Not-
that's because she's, they've inflicted a lot of pain on her
Yeah.
indirectly.
Yeah.
Completely. It's an interesting villain.
Yeah. Not all of the moon elves are as bad as Turian. Some are like semi-benevolent, like the whatever they're called, the Mathenes. And then like, then there's the ones that are just, fucking around and having a good time because that's all they give a shit about. They don't, they might be selfish, but they're not like malicious,
Mhm.
That's like, that's like beheading a party bro. Or like a hippie. That's just like killing a bunch of hippies because they liked having a good time, but they inadvertently like, hurt a lot of people's feelings. Or had slaves. So I mean, maybe okay, maybe my
Talking your way back out of
yeah,
this.
yeah,
I understand. Not all of them are out to get you, but
Yeah,
some people are
yeah.
making the best of the situation.
Yeah, there's like the Baron dude. He was bad news. Not that we've ever had any interaction with him other than him being on what's his face's list. But like Turian was bad news. But like not all of them are complete assholes that are worthy of being strung up. And I'm gonna take a break real quick. I'll be right
Yeah, same. Bye.
Hello.
Hello.
I love Kabine.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. I don't know what that says about me, but I'm like, yes, that's the character I relate to.
I will burn this
All
school
about
down to
that.
see my children educated.
All about that French Revolution style justice, eh, Jade?
I don't know. I think this is more akin to MLK and Malcolm X.
I guess so. I mean,
Sherrod and Kabine.
yeah, I hear you. I mean, if Martin Luther King was like a crime lord,
I mean,
I
I'm
see
just
both,
talking about
definitely.
their philosophical
No, I know what you mean.
differences and things, and what they're willing to do to
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely see both. She is very much like fucking get the guillotines,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I like that dichotomy you bring up, Jade.
back.
The comparison between Sherrod and Kabim and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Mm-hmm. Do. Oh man, we should have asked if she knew who went after the Six Eyes the other day.
I mean, that would have been another pretty dumb decision on her part.
I seriously doubt it was her.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it was her, but she might have known exactly who it was because they're like they
Oh,
think it
yeah.
was the elves, but we could have like maybe It's like if you're wanting to ally with them, maybe you should try and take care of the people who are trying to actively kill them right now.
I don't know if we want to be putting Sherrod's business out there.
True enough. I'm very proud of us for not using his name.
Although she did know that we were allied with him.
Yeah,
Yeah, but she
no,
doesn't
she
know
said
who-
the Six Eyes. I was very proud of the fact we didn't go, oh, well, we can't speak for Sherrod.
No, I very deliberately did not say that because
Yeah.
she didn't say Sherrod, so I
Yeah.
wasn't going to say Sherrod.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holla.
Hola.
How you doing, Rob?
Oh, I'm fantastic. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm enjoying your villain, not villain, kind of villain potential ally. I thought it was interesting. Like, she's in that grey area that she's doing things for the right reasons, and she's doing them because, you know, she's suffered a lot, but also she has no off switch kind of thing,
Yeah.
no conscience. Somewhere between kind of chaotic good and lawful evil, potentially.
She's Frank Castle and we're all
Basically.
That's
no,
actually-
you can't do this.
Yeah, that's real fucking close to how I see it. That's a
I mean, Frank Castle is an anti-hero, but he borders on, you know, villain.
Psychopath.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's how
There's that great scene in the original Civil War comic where like
Mm-hmm.
he tries to help out like the I forget what they're called, the Captain America side, and Captain America's like, no, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that scene is that Captain America basically ends up like fighting with him, and he won't
Yeah.
fight back because he
Yeah.
has too much respect for Captain
Yeah.
America,
Mhm.
even though Captain America hates what he stands for.
Right. But we know
he-
that Khabib would fucking kill us in a heartbeat.
Yes, that's true. But
She does not respect our cause that much.
I
No,
mean,
that's
if
all.
I was in trouble, I know who I'd rather have on my side.
Captain America or the Punisher?
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Captain America.
Punisher, my dude. If I'm in trouble, I want a guy who will fucking do anything to get me out of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, Rob, but I would be a female next to Frank Castle, which pretty much guarantees a death sentence. So I think I'd go with Captain America.
That's true. That's very true.
Captain America would prioritize your life. You know?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Frank Castle, if you've got tits, they're gonna get killed for man point at some point. I can't wait for that to happen to Karen in the Netflix show.
I mean,
Like,
isn't the Netflix show dead?
Yeah,
I mean,
they can.
they could continue it maybe on Disney Plus.
It's a little too bloody for Disney Plus.
They might do it. Don't hold. I really hated Karen. She was like my least favorite character out of the series.
I like Karen.
I hated her, but
I didn't hate her. I get why you do hate her, but I didn't mind her at all.
I can't stand. I call it Izzy Stevens characters, where there's like lots of conflict and everybody else is going through emotional trauma, and their reaction is, "But what about how that is affecting me?" And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah,
It's like a
but
perfect example of that is like a Grey's Anatomy episode where like Izzy Stevens, there's like a woman that comes in who wants to get a double mastectomy because she's afraid she'll get breast cancer, and she legitimately turns to like, you know, one of the doctors, the doctor she's banging, and she's like, "What if it was me, Alex?" And I'm just like, "But it's not. So shut the fuck up."
What about isms?
Yeah.
I definitely like the Punisher versus Daredevil comparison. That's pretty apt. Well, you guys are shown the door.
Is Jade back?
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah,
think.
okay. I hadn't heard Jade.
She was. She made
I don't know if she
disappear
walked away. Are you there, Jade?
Jade,
never
can
left.
you hear me?
Ah, there. Jade, can you hear me?
Yeah, so you guys are shown the door.
Is it a nice door?
Fucking lovely door.
I feel like I'm there.
Fuck you.
Of all the banter back and forth, I feel that was one of the more painful ones.
We got like 45 minutes, but sure, I'll spend 15 of it describing the door.
Can we not?
6.783 feet tall.
Nope.
This thick wooden door has
Ambroshmina
etchings of.
walks back to the Mirage.
Is it made of wormwood?
On your walk, you
Paduk.
you see several cobbles that are slightly cracked, and many
Even
of the
more
flames.
beautiful doors.
We need to, build this city back up from these cracked cobbles. They're the real scourge. Improper.
All right, now let me roll up 7 NPCs for you to encounter on the way, and all of them are going to tell Mina that she's going to die. No, but for real, you guys escape with your lives for now
From the door.
from the clutches of Riga, and the evening is yours.
I love escaping clutches.
We'll return to the Mirage. Get signal for wherever Madar and Eli are.
Yeah,
I'll send him a message so that they can join us again on the walk
come out
back.
and join you. Yeah.
They've been murdered.
Dun dun dun.
Mina is going to take Eli's hand as they walk back to the Mirage. She's a little quiet on the way back.
Assuming we return unmolested.
You do.
Once we're inside, Declan will remove his mask and say, I don't trust her, but I think as long as we make no moves against her, she will do the same.
You're not even going to contemplate her offer?
Her violence is scrawled across her face. She would make a bloody mess of everything we stand for.
And Brashmina nods. There is no need to burn a field when a little bit of weeding will do.
I agree. The problem with revolutions is those who die in the greatest number are always the most vulnerable. The people we seek to protect.
Has there been revolution in Ashar before?
I don't think so. I think basically the Munos have been in charge since it was founded.
If they've kind of squashed anything that has ever come up. Yes, voice in the sky?
Yes, there's never really been anything full scale, but anyone like publicly against them has been very quickly silenced.
We know we'll say something to that effect.
Well then, we need to perhaps present a united front and be willing to do whatever it takes to see our goals achieved.
What does you mean?
If Sharat attempts his uprising, they will cut him down. If Riga attempts her uprising, they will cut her down. I guess you're seeing the pattern?
Need to make it like the pot hydra. There are too many heads for them to cut off at once.
Exactly. I understand you don't want to burn half the field, but sometimes that is a necessary strategy to guarantee that you can grow something afterwards. Make the soil stronger, better.
Your analogy falls apart when you realize that you are talking about human lives. And elf lives, Minotaur lives, Ashari lives, all. They are not seeds, they are not grass. And if there is a longer, perhaps more difficult path that results in the end of slavery, which is our goal, then I think that is where we place our coin.
It may not be a goal that we see within our lifetime, but there's something to work forward towards. But none of it will matter if we do not deal with this bond.
Agreed. I think we would do Shirat a disservice if we did not inform him of her intentions, at least. The Six Eyes are their own, and they have the right to make their own decisions about who they ally themselves with.
I mean, I promised her as much. She knows that we have other things to handle before we begin making those inroads. I don't want to start now for fear of signaling her prematurely that we've made a decision.
Declan's going to pause for a moment and look at Bryn and look at Abrashmita. Do either of you possess means to detect magical spying?
Abrashmina pulls out the wand of detect magic. And activates it.
Apart from yourselves and the Savmagrich, nothing glows.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
South McRitch.
Explains so much.
Right. It is my instinct, and it is only that she will become our enemy before long.
She's only our enemy if we make her our enemy, Declan.
She is the enemy of any who oppose her agenda of slaughter.
No, she's only the enemy of someone who stands in her way of ending slavery. We can conduct our business without running afoul of her. She's not
And-
holding a dagger to our throats and saying, "You must kill."
And what if we decide that our best course of action lies in the taking of the Barakados gold?
We don't even know that she has any sort of investment there.
We don't, but it seems likely.
Why would that be our best course of action?
It is not even a consideration right now. We need to rest and resupply so that we can take care of this bond. These are problems to deal with after he is done.
Yeah.
These problems are all moot if he comes through and chews up the city with a bunch of worms.
I fear we've punched him in the nose, and he may do just that sooner rather than later.
Exactly. I would rather go after him before he finds a substitution for whatever the wizards did for him.
If you can allow me a few more days, I can have Bryn's goggles prepared. After that, I am ready to leave.
We may not have that time. I have the globe.
Well, we need to find out exactly where he is. We need to do some potion shopping and any other sort of supplies. Perhaps we could go to the bazaar tomorrow just to see if there is anything that might be useful. But for now, I am very tired and I would like to go to bed. And you see kind of like Abrashmina is like she's been kind of like quiet all evening because this is not how she wanted to spend her first day back in the shop, and perhaps she's being a little selfish, but she hasn't had a chance to have a proper reunion with her loved ones. loved one or whatever. So you can tell like the conversation is taxing her as the more it goes on.
Then take your rest. This conversation can wait.
With that, does Declan leave?
What time is it, Rob?
It's probably getting like it's probably dark outside. It's
Okay.
like probably just after like a normal time for dinner, 8, 9ish.
Cool. Declan's gonna go out on patrol, but other people can do stuff before I do any of that if you want.
Sure.
McCood is just gonna say to Bryn, as she's the last one there. The dwarves told me that they would come. They would fight for our cause, whatever that is. And they would not think twice about it. We did them. We have put them in a debt that they do not know how to pay. But that would be a start to them. I don't know how to tell the others. I know we don't want blood and we want to find the other ways and everything, but if it comes to it, we have friends. Friends we can trust. And he's just gonna like, I don't know where we are, if we're sitting at a table or something, but he'll just like lean forward and take a hand if possible. Also, Mino is the only one who can bring back the teleportation thing, so we can go get your family. And they're kind of still with the dwarves.
I will leave them there for a bit anyway. I may want to work with Riga, but I don't trust Riga.
What? Sorry.
I'm not stupid enough to not trust her.
No. I know. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I don't know where we draw the line.
Neither do I. We've met a lot of people and done a lot of things, and it is sometimes hard to see who we should work with, or for, or against.
He's so willing to say we shouldn't work with someone who may kill innocents or cost the life of innocents. And that's wrong, and he's against that. And let's take the slow approach that may take years to see our ends met if we ever get there. But it's like, how many people do we leave in suffering with that? If the means are within our grasp to end it sooner rather than later.
We have to make sure everybody is safe and defeat the spurned. And then if anything else arises with the monk, maybe the monk can help. Maybe that pale god of goodness and such will be able to turn the people quicker than we can. Maybe we can do it peacefully. But and he kind of like leans in or like gives your hand a squeeze or something. I know what you mean. Makud lives in the moment. And he kind of gives you like a determined kind of grin. We have to do it sooner rather than later. And like, he's got your back kind of thing.
Well, I think I'm gonna take the stage for a little bit before I turn in. But I'm glad at least someone sees reason.
Makud sees a lot of things. And he's like, you can probably read right through that he's purposely being all like mysterious and clandestine as everyone was talking about it.
I see this cup, this table. I see you.
There is 2 cups, twice the cup.
Sometimes I see the end of my nose.
He will like let your hand go and go. It has been a little while that I've heard you sing. At least you got drunk too easily with the dwarves. Never got to hear you sing down there.
Well, I mean, if they hadn't been trying to give me poison, maybe it would have been.
But profitable poison, and it like gestures to the barrel or something that they have on the bar.
Yeah, it's become something of like a challenge in the last day or two. Like people have been coming in to see if they can stay standing.
I like the idea that it's like kegged almost on the bar, and it just has like challenge written over it or something.
Yeah, if you can
go up
drink,
and try.
yeah,
You gotta
half
like
pri-
install seat belts on the bar so that like people like don't fall over when they try.
It's half price if you
Uh,
can drink it and not pass out.
Makudo wait and watch, maybe with Madara. I'm not sure where she's up to, but
Yeah, should be
he will
hanging around.
wait and watch you sing your
Yeah.
piece.
I was gonna say the first ones are probably kind of sad and melancholy, but as she like plays and gets more drink into her, they're happier, more drinking songs. Probably even maybe a
Shanties.
dwarven, shanties, some dwarven drinking songs, things like that.
Real quick, I just want to say I'm sorry I interjected with that comment before. It was I think I was just like voicing like Declan's inner monologue if he had been in the scene at that moment. You know, I wasn't trying to judge her up here. Okay, my bad.
It's fine.
It's all good.
Like, why would you want to ally with this person if you can't trust them?
No, it's understandable.
I think everyone has a reasonable argument in this, which
Yeah.
is making it very fun for me. Eli will like follow Mina upstairs and just say, "You all right?"
This is not exactly how I was hoping that my homecoming would go.
No. Well, nor me.
Did not mean to step into things and do all of this, but it is like as soon as I got back, finding out that, you know, the Six Eyes are in trouble and the people here at Mirage are in trouble, and then all of this stuff with Riga and Tabin. This is not how I was hoping to spend my first evening back, and it makes me anxious about leaving again. We will not be around to help, and it is clear that people here need our help. I'm feeling spread a bit too thin.
That's understandable. And you hear his like voice change back now that you're alone. But you know, you're only one person, and the virtues is for people. That's shouldn't all be on you.
I am not saying that it is all on me. It is what it felt like today.
I know. You have not picked an easy life for yourself after the temple, have you?
It was not all that easy at the temple
No,
either.
of course. Well, the world needs people to make difficult decisions, and there's no one I trust more than you to do that.
Thank you, Eli. That is very kind of you to say.
He grins.
I have missed you.
I miss you too. Very much. But it was much easier having the sending stones. was good.
Yes. One of these days you will learn that you have 25 words that you can use.
I do?
Yes. I
Oh,
do. I try to put as much as possible into them.
well, like scratches a horn. I'll I'll remember that next time.
Hopefully next time will not last as long. I find that 25 words at a time is not always enough.
No, it's not. But at least I have you back now for however long.
A few days, I think. But I'm going to be busy,
I know.
and you are going to be busy.
More than likely. But, well, I'm thinking about you. Even if I am busy.
It is good to know. Not thinking about replacing me so soon, eh?
Not for all the stars in the sky, Mina.
Oh.
Duh.
There's that 20 charisma.
Yep. Well, at that note, I think that is a good place to end that scene.
Xylophone sounds as they begin knocking boots and their bones rub together. Two skinny people just. Sorry.
Eli's horns clacking against the headboard. But yes, it is done. Your meeting with Cabine. Is there anything you would like to accomplish while out on patrol, Mr. Declan?
Mr. Declan. I should probably go see Tira and me and Murren, but it's probably a little late for them. I was gonna see if I could find. Well, first of all, hit up all my drop spots to see what's going on with any of the informants. I'm curious to see if the manifesto that Declan wrote has taken root in the city. So sort of like keeping your eye
You've
for
done
that.
it too.
Yeah, I do it all the time. Just to
You've
myself.
done it with your own name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you do see quite a few of them just around. And it's maybe, based on what you've heard about the elves, it's maybe something that's kind of bringing attention your way and maybe the Mirage's way.
So I left it anonymous on purpose.
Yeah. Oh, true. My apologies. But yeah, there's definitely a few of them around. Though you do see there's a lot of them ripped up. You see bits of them kind of lying about. They're definitely not being taken well by everyone.
Got it. Okay. Anything in the drops?
Nothing in particular.
Okay.
You think a lot of your cowardly criminal informants, because they haven't heard from you in so long, are sort of he's gone. It's fine.
Well, just in case, I will leave payments in each of them, along with instructions that Masu's back in town and he needs information on the one called Riga.
All right, you can absolutely do that.
And then if I can try to find him, I'd like to find Fadi Al-Houk.
Ooh. Yeah, give me an investigation check.
Sure. How do you like the number 25?
Yeah, you're able to find him. He's kind of hanging around some of the shadier areas for now. Not really seeming to be up to much in particular, though.
Does he seem like he's working, or is he just kind of hanging around?
Mostly just hanging around.
Okay. from a shadow, Declan will speak
will
softly. What?
like to remind you that he works for Riga, so don't
Does he?
threaten. Yes, don't threaten or piss him off.
Wait, Fadiel Hook the guard?
Oh, the guard. Okay, sorry. I thought you were talking to
No,
the,
no, 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 no,
the
no.
dock worker.
No, Fadel Hook is.
He's a city guard now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I thought you were like gonna go like shake down the dock worker dude again.
I
Sorry.
mean, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I will. But no, Fadiel Hook. And I'll just call to him from the shadow and say, Fadiel Hook. It is good to see you again.
It is good to see you too, Declan.
I've been away a long time, but I thought it would be good to touch base.
Yes, I suppose so. You've been busy?
Quite. We were on an excursion into the desert where we made great progress on uncovering the origins of the threat to the city from the masked man who attacked the Bakar on the back of a sandworm. We go shortly to find him and finish him.
Well, that is worrying, but it is good that you are seeking him out. And you see he's dressed in like non-guard clothes, but he's still like wearing his armor under it, and there's still a sword on his belt.
Tell me, what news of Ashar?
Well, there is a little that may interest you.
Please.
I think you know what happened to the Six Eyes.
I know some. What have you heard? Any idea of who was the assailant?
I have an idea, but so far I have been unable to get to Sharat. They were hired, at least, by, and he kind of like glances around, someone in my line of work.
A guardsman.
You know, it's
To afford so many, there must be quite a wealthy guardsman.
well, I do not think they funded their own excursion there. The orders from on high have been much more hands-on lately. We are being told to look for manifestos, to look for anyone sowing malcontent or, well, criminals are being punished more heavily. Eremine is filling up and it is a dangerous time.
They reopened it
You're not there.
because Makud kind of destroyed it. Well, I'm just asking.
I mean, yeah, I caved in the entrance. It doesn't. We've been gone for ages. I could have dug it back
True.
out.
Months.
Slave labor. Yeah, ages.
Months and months.
I delayed them for a bit, which saved some people. So, or delayed some people.
Is there any sense that malcontent is growing in the city?
There have been more incidents than usual, definitely. I saw a man beaten half to death for running in the street and screaming about killing the elves. He shakes his head. That was dark.
Foolish course of action, but sad still.
It was. Managed to
me.
save him from the mine, but well, it was not easy.
Tell me, Fadi. What course do you think is best? Do you still believe in the plan we formed all those months ago?
I do, but the landscape is changing. We are going to have to be smart about it.
Have you heard of the one called Riga and her black cloaks?
I have heard the name.
Huh? Is there someone
Riga
trying to be a
is
voice?
yeah, Riga is supposed to be a crime lord, not a crime lady. It's part of her identity.
Okay. His black cloaks.
There you go.
Yes, I have heard the name. Seen a couple of the black cloaks, but we have had no reason to interfere as of yet.
Do you know anything of their operations?
We know where they operate and what the operations in that area seem to foretell. But as for specifics, I'm afraid I cannot help you.
You do not know what it is they traffic in?
Shakes his head. We don't even have surveillance on them at the moment. The bosses are far more interested in other issues than petty criminals and gangs.
Well, they may be far more than that. It is possible that they represent a threat to the autocracy of the city.
How do you mean?
Are we in private?
Yeah.
Do I need to make a perception check so someone's listening?
You can if you want.
I will, just in case. Natural 20.
Yeah, you're confident there's no one within earshot.
Okay. They seek a bloody revolution to bring down the Moon Elf kingdom.
How do you know this?
Their master told me himself.
You spoke with Riga?
I did.
What is he like?
I need your word, Fadi, that what I tell you will go no further than this conversation.
Of course, Declan, you have it.
You know the Shala, Kabim.
Kabin Hussein? Yes?
Yes. She is Riga.
She is? You are certain?
Quite.
This is... Oh. I had not expected that. He's like running a hand through his hair.
She seeks the complete desolation of the Moon Elf regime. And I could see it behind her eyes. That she would kill many thousands to see such a name realized. She sought our aid in this. And there are some within my own party who thought it quite reasonable, I think. It would not be the first time we have disagreed, nor will it be the last, I think. And I know that...
They'll probably kick your ass if they find out you did this, but yeah.
It's okay. I know that you do not wish to see violence take hold of the city. But I sense that you are a practical man, and I need an objective voice.
I am listening.
To ally with such a one, is it worthy?
That is a difficult question, but I think my answer is that if you ally yourself with someone like that, then you may have some small influence. If you do not, then they are harder to control. But equally, if you ally yourself with someone of that nature, they may have some small influence over you. And not necessarily you personally, but the organizations you represent and work with may find their ideals aligning more closely with hers than they once would. There is influence on both sides.
Declan nods, considers. And I appreciate your insight.
And I appreciate your trust.
Is there anything that the city guard needs help with? Anything the virtues can assist? It is still our desire, I believe, to show the good-natured people of the city that we are on their side.
Just... I don't know. Try to keep a low profile, I suppose. For now, at least. My job in not harming you is... Well, it is difficult when you and yours are so overt with some of your actions.
I understand. Should take this into consideration. And Declan will put out a hand and say, I'll take my leave.
He'll like take your hand, kind of look you in the eyes and give you a nod. Goodbye, Mask.
Farewell, Father Yelhook. Fade into the floor.
Nice. And I think we'll end it there, seeing as you have to skedaddle.
Yeah.